Hi, I'm Phil from Elgato, and in this video, we're going to take a look at Camera Hub. Camera Hub is the software designed for Facecam to give you full manual control over all of Facecam's settings. First, you'll need to download Camera Hub from elgato.com and install it. When you open Camera Hub, you will see the ultra-low latency preview, and on the left, you'll find tabs with the various settings for Facecam grouped together. At the bottom left is the video format. Here you can choose the preview resolution for Facecam. This setting does not affect what resolution Facecam outputs to other software. At the center bottom are camera and folder buttons. The camera button takes a snapshot of the current image frame and saves it as a PNG at the selected video format resolution. Clicking the folder button will open the folder where snapshots are saved for quick access. At the bottom right is a toggle for the preview to enable or disable the preview. This is important. With how video devices like Facecam work on a computer, only one program can access the video feed at a time. This means if Camera Hub is open and another application, for example your streaming software, tries to access Facecam, it won't be able to. By disabling the preview, Camera Hub can stay open and you can change Facecam settings while it's open in a different software. Now let's move over to the left side of Camera Hub. This small icon will collapse the preview completely, setting Camera Hub to compact mode. In compact mode, all the settings for Facecam remain accessible while the preview is removed to free up valuable screen space. With compact mode, all of Facecam's settings can be tuned in real time even when it's in use in other software. This is especially useful when Facecam is being used in programs that don't have camera controls. Most often, these are video chat applications like Zoom, Slack, and Teams. Now let's take a closer look at the image tuning settings. If at any point you want to reset settings, simply click on the reset icon for that specific tab. In the first tab, you can select your Facecam as well as view device settings, update firmware, and save settings to Facecam's flash memory, but more on that later. The zoom slider adjusts the zoom and in turn the FOV, which is shown. Note that this is digital zoom, and as such we recommend using it sparingly as it more or less crops the video. The Picture tab contains settings for contrast, saturation, and sharpness. Contrast will increase or decrease the range between the darkest and brightest point of the image. Saturation adjusts the intensity of color. The sharpness setting adjusts how soft or sharp the image is. We suggest leaving this setting at 2. Next is the Exposure tab. Here you can really fine-tune Facecam's image. You have a choice between automatic or manual exposure. Automatic exposure is the perfect setting when your lighting conditions fluctuate or change throughout the day, for example when Facecam is near a window. When in automatic mode, the metering setting determines how Facecam adjusts brightness. Center weighted makes sure the central area of the image is bright while ignoring outer areas, while the average mode takes a look at the entire image. You can influence the automatic exposure brightness by tweaking the compensation value, which can help if the automatic settings are too bright or too dark. Manual exposure is where Facecam truly shines. You can now directly control the ISO and shutter speed of the sensor. This level of control is a first for a webcam. As a general rule, you want to keep the shutter speed as low as possible so that the sensor gets as much light as it can. Note, however, that shutter speed directly affects the video frame rate. The shutter speed of 1/64th or faster guarantees smooth 60 FPS video. Lower than 1/64th will let in more light, but the video frame rate won't be 60 anymore. Next is the ISO setting. This adjusts the sensor's sensitivity to light. For the best image quality, you'll want to keep the ISO value as low as possible, and we don't suggest going over 1000 ISO as that will result in unwanted video noise. At the top right of the Exposure tab is the ISO readout, which always shows the current ISO of the sensor. While you can tune it manually in manual exposure, in automatic exposure, the ISO will adapt to the lighting conditions automatically. If you notice the ISO is reaching values above 1000, consider adding more light to your setup. The next tab is White Balance. You can choose between automatic and manual white balance. Unless you're going for a very specific look, we suggest keeping white balance on automatic. The last tab is Processing. Here, noise reduction can be toggled on or off. This setting can have a big effect on overall image quality. The noise reduction algorithm will reduce visible video noise, however, this comes at a slight cost in image quality as small details may also be inadvertently removed. With proper exposure tuning, we suggest turning noise reduction off. Anti-flicker will help reduce the flicker of lights which may be recorded by Facecam. The choice of 50 Hz or 60 Hz depends on your region's power frequency. Anti-flicker only applies when exposure is automatic. In manual exposure mode, you can adjust the shutter speed to avoid light flickering. Once you've tuned your settings, they can be saved to Facecam's internal flash memory. Simply click on the Save button in the Device tab and the settings are instantly stored on Facecam. Now you can use Facecam in a new application, restart your computer, or even connect Facecam to an entirely different computer and the settings you just dialed in are always remembered. That's it for this overview. To learn more about Facecam and other Elgato products, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Elgato. Thanks for watching.